The time you spend talking about the thing that went wrong is time that was wasted when you could have used the time to fix it. And I say this really considering what could have gotten wrong in your life. There is a time to talk about things, there's a time to express them, there's a time to let someone who needs to know about the situation. What I find is that often in the past, or even now, people spend a lot of time talking about their problems, talking about what is wrong, who did them wrong, why they did them wrong, what they think about the person who did them wrong, and talking over and over and over about the problem. And if you listen keenly to most people, they often know what they need to do. They often have an idea of how to fix it. In fact, they are smart to know that whatever happened, this is how it happened, this is what caused it, this is what should have been done. And the more I spend time listening to people, I start seeing myself in them. I start seeing the same way that I make excuses or used to make excuses, the same way that I blame everyone else except myself for what happened. And even when I don't, even when I identify the issue and I even blame myself and take responsibility, I don't take action. Or at least I didn't used to take action. And today's message really is about being able to pay attention to how you speak about your problems and the amount of energy spent speaking about it versus actually doing something about it. For me, in the past, I was, and still I am, in a way, a huge buff of self improvement. My mentality was if you learn enough about life, about yourself, about human psychology, about human behavior, then you can fix your life. What I know now is that no matter how much you learn about that, if you don't have Christ, it gets a lot more harder because life is difficult in general. The life here on earth has its frustrations and challenges and difficulties. So you can't rely only on your physical or mental strength. You need to have spiritual strength in order to accomplish some things. So talking about problems is a lower level activity. It's a draining activity. It's a pointing finger thing. I'm sure there's a scale somewhere about those different activities up to I think enlightenment or something, but complaining, blaming, accusing, the ABCs, those are a waste of time and energy. And if you listen, you will notice them. And you might notice them in yourself. What I'm trying to make here today is this: don't spend so much time talking about the problem. Take that time, take that energy, and fix the problem. Now, you might say you didn't cause the problem. You might say it wasn't your fault. You might say someone else has to deal with this. You're probably right. Someone else did this to you. You found yourself in a situation that you shouldn't have been. You had to deal with a problem that someone else caused. You were born in a family where people do things a particular way. You had to handle a problem that was entirely not your problem. 100%. But here's the thing: whether you caused it or someone else caused it, it's your responsibility to fix it. How do I know that? You are talking about it. If it doesn't bother you that much, drop it. And if it bothers you enough to talk about it, fix it. I'm not saying you should never mention your problems. You should never talk about it. Of course, if you know someone in your life who could help you deal with this, or someone, I don't know, a consultant, a friend, a spouse, someone who needs to know what you're dealing with or what you're talking about, for sure, go ahead and talk to them about it. But beyond that, any energy spent reliving the past, bringing it back to the present, talking about it, is energy that could have been used taking that situation, learning from it, addressing it, moving on. So move on from the relationship, from the job, from the situation. Move on. The way you move on is not by forgetting about it, it's by extracting the lesson, learning from it, taking responsibility, and handling it. What I am learning is that all those things are so much more easier, so much more possible, so much more clear when you are not relying on your own intelligence and your own strength. I rely on the Holy Spirit for all these things in my life. And I notice that when I try not to, it gets harder. Not only that, but the feelings that well up in me are not usually positive feelings. Worry, anxiety, depression, frustration, anger, those feelings that are backed by spirits that are not the Holy Spirit, are not usually helpful. So it's more of a barometer of if there is a problem, and you're talking about it and it's making you more upset. Why? Learn the lesson, fix it, move on. That's it.